Hi everyone, I just spent the last 4 hours playing this puzzle from Breakout PH. Now I'm not planning to publish this video until the puzzle's already ended. And when you watch this you might think, oh that was easy, but that's because I'm showing you the steps. It's not that easy when you're doing it yourself. So this is part 1. It says, want to be part of an elite group? Solve this breakout puzzle. And it says, hint, you may need to turn the lights way up. So let's download the image, and in our image editor here we'll adjust the exposure or brightness. And there you go, you can see it easily now. This is step 1 of your test. Pass all the steps and get to live the experience of a lifetime. To get to step 2, visit breakout.com.ph/secret lights and see what word connects to 515. So let's go to that URL. Now at this point you might start scrolling through and you see all of this text and you're thinking, well, what's the answer? Well, somewhere in here it's got a hint. Let me see if I can find it. And here you go. If you are still reading this word by word, highlight the empty space 2 paragraphs down. So let's go 2 paragraphs down, empty space, and it says here, let me zoom in, and here you go, you can see it says you need to add in the URL www.breakout.com.ph/secret, the word that connects to the puzzle we posted. Now you might think that's going to be secret 515, but if you look carefully it says what word connects in 515. So I've copied all the text from the page, put it into my text editor, and then I can find which word is the 515th word on the page. And the word we're looking for is doorstep. So let's try that URL. And you can see it takes us to this page, and this is where I spent a lot of time. This was really tricky. So, secret society. Mike wants to, in fact, let me zoom in. Okay, here we go. Mike wants to enter a secret society, but needs to pass the final test. Another applicant starts a test and hears a voice that says 12. The applicant answers 6, and that's the correct answer. Another applicant hears 6. He answers 3, correct answer. And then Mike hears 88. So originally I'm thinking it's 44 because it seems to be half and half. Now I did get some help from my girlfriend. In fact, all the way through this I had, me and my girlfriend are talking back and forth. So I can't claim all the credit here, but if you take 12 and write that out as a word, that's 6 characters, so that's why the answer was 6. If you take the word 6, that's 3 characters, so the answer is 3. So if you take 88, the answer is 11. So the answer to this is actually 11, and we can test that out. So we go to /answer 11, and you can see that it redirects us. Sorry, not here, but you're almost there. Well, don't throw that away yet, because we're going to need that, so we'll leave that page open. Now this one says, a robber raids a bank and wants the bank manager to open the vault. The manager says the code for the safe is changing every hour, and if you hurt me, you'll never get the code. But the thief manages to guess the code. What was the code? Well, the answer is in the text. The code for the safe is changing. That's the code, changing. So let's try that. And there you go. Again, sorry, not here, but you're almost there. Keep this page, we're going to need it. And then on this last one, we have what appears to be random letters, although based on the groupings, we can assume they're words. Now the title says Caesar cipher. Now that's something that you learn at a very young age. A becomes B, B becomes C, C becomes D, and so on, although it can vary depending on the key used. So if we copy this text, now we don't have to do this by hand because there are tools online. So we can paste our text in here, and then if we use key 13 for example, it doesn't make any sense, but what we can do is tell it to automatically work it out based on what produces real dictionary words, and there you go, it tells us that the key is 21, and this is the text. If you are reading this properly, the answer you are looking for to add at the end of the URL mentioned above is Roman Empire. So let's open that up. And again, we've got a duck. Sorry, not here, but you're almost there. Again, we need to leave this page open. So we have the answer to these 3 challenges. And I started doing all kinds of URLs, /answer, 11, changing, Roman Empire, all kinds of different variations. But read this. Some answers may lead you to errors, but don't worry if it seems like a lot of numbers. Just add them past the errors, and as cliche as it sounds, the experience to it to keep moving forwards. Now this had me boggled for a while until I looked at the other pages, and you can see errors 40.html, errors 404.html, errors 1234.html. So obviously we have to do something with those numbers. So it says here, just add them past errors. And this took me a long time because I was trying a whole bunch of different URLs. I'm trying with the Roman Empire 11, with changing with 40, 404, 1234, 1678. I tried converting the experience into numbers and then adding that. It took me a long time to work this out. So the answer is, and I'll paste this up here, errors, the experience, 1678. So it says just add them past the errors, and as cliche as it sounds, the experience. Very tricky wording. So we have the errors, the experience, 1678, because 1678 is 40 plus 404 plus 1234. So yeah, it took me a very long time to work that out. Let's go there. And there you go, it says congratulations for making it this far. Now if we zoom in, you can see it has some numbers, and then it says a square has 4 sides, but I'm not thinking about the sides of a square. What am I thinking about? Add your answer at the end of the URL, breakout.com/answer. You may need to view the streets for this puzzle. So immediately, as soon as I saw those numbers, I knew the coordinates, you know, latitude and longitude, very obvious. This one was actually super easy. So I opened up Google Maps, I pasted in the coordinates, and you can see it goes to BGC. So if we zoom in, and then if we take our little man, because remember it said you might have to go to the streets, so let's go to the street level. And then if we look around, the most obvious building is this one, and this is Central Square. So I tried going to Central Square, and this is the page it took me to. A friend of mine once said 60% of the time it works all the time. Wait, what? Anyway, you think the answer is Central Square? Really? Do you think it's that long? So I thought, oh no, this is gonna be like a really tricky one again. But then I thought, okay, well, it says it's not gonna be a long answer. Maybe I had the right answer, but it's just too long. So let's shorten it down a bit. So we remove square, so we just have answer central. And ta-da, it trolls you, sorry not here, but then just kidding, you got it, go to, and then it gives you another URL. And when we open that URL, it says congratulations, you passed the test, and then you can enter and it tells you more about it. Basically you have to sign up and pay a little bit of money and you can do the experience. So yeah, that was the puzzle. It took me around 4 hours. I had help from my girlfriend, and it was difficult. I really got stuck on that middle section. The last section was really easy, the first section was really easy, but the middle section, yeah, that was really difficult. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks to Breakout PH for this fun game. Thanks for watching.